Okay, so welcome to session 4 where we're talking about the marketing tools and how you can put them out in the world and get much more exposure. Before we get into that, let's take a quick look at what we learned in the last class. They have a lot of goals in mind. They want to sell property and they don't want to pay tax and they want money. So, that's sometimes a hard bill to fill. But it is achievable with a cash out option. Okay, and it works this way. They would sell a piece of property and open an exchange, and the monies in the exchange would be reinvested into one or more properties. And then immediately after they purchase the last property in the exchange and the exchange is completed, they would refinance and pull cash out.
3 or 4 transactions, let's find out how to do this. So when you're having a one-on-one client conversation at someone's home or a Starbucks, pull out your phone, register them, get that conversation started. Put it in your email newsletters, in your blogs, in your emails to prospects, or in your farms that you're sending out, whether electronic mail or print mail. For sure in your social media blogs and posts. Anytime you're doing anything about social media, about business, make sure you're adding in about this 1031 exchange opportunity. Great, as an example, you could say, great replacement property for a 1031 exchange. Learn more about how to sell tax-free and place your link right there, right on Facebook or right on LinkedIn. Of course, on your website, anywhere on your website, you can put this as a big button, sell properties tax-free. And then your signature line in your email, every time you sign off and you're communicating with clients, have it a big link at the bottom of your email signature. These are just a few of the areas in which you can get this working for you.
Okay, so Steve, why don't you give us a short example of how someone could make a post to promote their links?
Yeah, so if you're posting online or you're trying to figure out what to put in LinkedIn, you want to for sure just make sure you're speaking or writing to the point. As an example, you've just listed a great property for a 1031 exchange. Or have you been thinking of selling and you don't want to pay taxes? Or you can talk about, want more information on how this works? Click here. So the bottom line on all this, whether it's in your social media posts or in your emails, you're just trying to intrigue the client enough to be interested to click on the button to find out more as to how they can save money on tax-free properties, and you're the one to help them do it. So it really is that simple, just intriguing copy that gets people to take action.
So really what's important is that the links get out there in as many places as they can, on the phone, in social media, in the website, and so forth, to act like little billboards that'll get people's attention, that will get the leads generated, 24/7.
Right.
Steve, this is really your ball of wax. You've been training and teaching and coaching real estate agents for tons of years.
Many years. I've earned my dues,
You
as
should look
say.
a lot older than you do. So what would you say is important when you're trying to motivate people?
Yes, that's true. But whether you're talking to people about expireds or FSBOs or getting a listing, it's always about how do you bring that up in the conversation, number one. Number two, how do you engage them? How do you get them really intrigued and engaged? And then what do you say? Well, that comes down to role playing. One of the things I've helped agents with over the years and managers is to understanding what to say in a conversation and practice it before you actually get at the table. So why don't we take an example here, David, and we can do a role play of a client and an agent relationship and see where this goes.
Sounds good.
Hey, David, great to see you.
How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Hey, you said you wanted cream in your coffee, right?
Perfect.
Good. Hey, I'm so glad we stayed in touch after I sold your home a year ago. And I know you've been getting my newsletters and my emails, and we had a conversation last week by phone. And you mentioned that you have these couple condos, but there was one that was really kind of bothering you.
Oh, Steve, I got to tell you, it's a pain in the neck already with the toilets and the trash.
The tenant
I'm
stuff,
thinking of getting out of them.
So what do you think you might do if you were to sell them? Do you have a game strategy?
Probably put the money into retirement property or something.
Okay, well that's a good option. And so saving for retirement, you're going to want to make sure you max all the tax advantage of that as well. So
I didn't even thought about how much the tax is going to cost me.
Well, on those transactions, when you're selling them anywhere from 30 to 40% of the profits.
30 to 40% of the profit?
Yeah.
I could be making $1 million, Steve. You're telling me I have to give back $300,000 to $400,000 of it? No,
Yeah.
I'm making $600,000.
I hate to be the
I don't think I'm going to sell that
I know
fast.
that does stop people, David, at times. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but there is some good news. There is something called a 1031 exchange, which can help you sell tax-free and then reinvest that money. Have you ever heard of it?
No, but how do you find out more?
Well, there's a great tool that I have. There's a company that I'm connected with, and it's called 1031 Exchange Advantage. And they have this cool thing, and I'm going to show you right now. It's just a quick little thing on my phone, and it's a link. And all I need is your email and phone, which I have, and I can sign you up for it. You'll get an electronic booklet. It gives you all the details about how this works. And if you're interested, the guy will actually call you and do a free consultation with you on the phone. So then we can figure out if this might be for you or not. Do you want me to sign you up?
Right now.
Okay, good. Well, let me just put in, I obviously have your contact right here because it's saved in my phone. So
Okay, so after I get this email, I'm going to schedule a consultation with the company.
That's correct.
And then we'll stay in touch to
it.
make sure that, you'll help me with the listing.
Yeah, I can help you with the listing. I bet you even have it on your phone. Check it just to see for fun.
Perfect.
You got
Okay.
it? Yeah, so that's the link. So you do that, and then once he gives you consultation, I step back in and we can work from there.
Thank you.
You're welcome, David. Thank you.
Okay, well, that was good. I can see that these consultations are really motivate people and get them to move forward. On the exchange side, I know it takes a couple of dialogues, and then they really understand how it's going to work for them, and they don't have the same inhibitions once it is explained to them.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, this really is the opportunity for the agent. I mean, this really creates high interest, it creates motivation, and it creates the flypaper to really get this whole thing stuck and started moving forward. So it's a great opportunity to really get this engaged.
In the first class, we learned what the tools are and how to use them. In the second class, we were talking about spotting opportunities and how they can work for clients to motivate them. Our third class was about reinvestments and how that can be a real key to motivating somebody to want to exchange in the first place. And then we talked about how you can put the tools everywhere so they work for you 24/7. And we also did some role playing to how to bring up the conversations and how to motivate prospects.
Yeah, absolutely. This really is a toolbox or a manual for agents from A to Z on how to stimulate transactions, stimulate multiple transactions, and really help your clients have more opportunities than they have now and for you to make more money. So it's really a win-win for everybody.
You know, the agent could really provide value by bringing it up in conversation. I had a little war story where I had a client who was interested in doing an exchange, but she didn't have the same agent on her sale property as she did when she went and bought property, and the whole thing fell apart. She was calling me weekly to do the exchange, and then I didn't hear from her for, 6 months, and she called me up and said, "Oh, I just sold my property. Is it too late to do the exchange?" And of course the answer is yes. It has to be set up before you sell the property. Well, it cost her $400,000 to make that mistake. Yeah, and she was really going to be selling something in New York and buying something in Florida to retire in. So it's a shame and expensive. And if the agent wants to add value and spot new opportunities, they need to start the conversations.
Yeah, that's right. This is perfect. Start the conversation, end up being the hero and the advisor that you are. So this really is a great toolbox you've created, David. So thank you.
Well, thank you. And I hope that everybody is encouraged to go out and create a business plan where they can start conversations with our tools.